Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, a couple of little technical issues. It booted me out to start off with. So my guest tonight is Leonard. I'm just trying to get everything linked up, guys, because it actually booted me out to start off with. I went to go live and it booted me up. So we're waiting to see if Leonard, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just trying to. Oh, here we are. I just phoned
On
in.
the bottom, just below us, there you are. This is your. Thank you. So after all that, and it's sometimes a bit of a nightmare because I have issues with this myself sometimes, and I wouldn't say I was an old pro at this. You know, I'm still learning myself, but I have troubles myself. Roy's just joined us, so good evening to our Roy as well. So thank you, Roy, for joining us. So, Leonard, I've been reading some of your stuff, and it's always interesting. I love that bit of a write-up you've done with the spider's web. That was very, very intriguing. Did that come from yourself, or was that something you found?
That came from a man who held a senior position in policing, and he was actually a former special branch officer. And he's one of many of affording assistance to me.
Well, it's actually well written. What I did is I put that out on my wall.
Yeah, that's good.
And I shared it to quite a few people, and a few people have seen it and looked at it. And if they were anything like me, inquisitive, they would have turned around and said, "Wow, it sounds like a kind of like almost an entrapment, kind of the magic of a spider's web." It draws you in. Once you're in it, you're stuck.
And, yeah, he was in the military. Then he was in the police service for many years, including special branch. And when I got attacked, he and others intervened to help me. It's probably why I'm still not locked up in a mental asylum. But he's retired, well retired now. But he's not like I say. We've all had enough of it now. What we've seen with successive governments, the covering ups. Look at your own case, where how long that goes back to, and they still haven't sorted it out.
No,
with it.
Do you know what? I love the way you've just said that, because you've just turned around and made everything that I tried to do over the years as simple as a few words. By saying what you said, you hit it like the hammer on the head. And I've been trying for years and years and years, and they just won't do anything about it. And that's what annoys me more than anything. We spend billions of pounds on everybody else. We spend billions of pounds on illegal immigration. We got what annoys me, Leonard, is that we've got our own veterans not having the quality of these hotels. We got our elderly pensioners not getting the heating 24/7 like these illegal immigrants. We got 2.2 million pensioners on the poverty line. All right, you've got some wealthy pensioners. You've got some rich pensioners that have done well in their time and probably had good jobs. But at the end of the day, did they not still pay taxes?
Yes, they do. Like I say, you go back to the very beginning when all this child abuse was going on, and I lived in South or West London. I can remember my parents saying, "Don't go near Ron, the donkey man, stay away from him." But they never explained why. And I was born in Southall in 1955, and we just weren't aware of it. And in 1970, I was 15, and look what was going on in London with the rent boys.
Yep.
These boys were running away from home, and they were being sourced at the railway stations and taken to various hostels.
Yep.
Where they ended up being abused, sexually abused, and then they were sent to where was it, the Playland in Piccadilly.
Yeah. Okay.
And they were rented out.
Wow.
And there's a very, very good book by Tom Daly, and he explains how he left Ireland to get a job in Foyles in a bookshop. And he was walking along the street, and he was really happy, and he got involved in gambling in a free card thing on the street. He lost all his money, Then he got accosted by a man, taken to a cafe, bought some coffee, then taken back to the man's house, then raped, then ended up in a rent boy. And his book's very good, Playland. You read it, and he really does open up, and he names the various people. He talks about his friends, how they were all given various names, and he names the establishment in there, the people involved.
Wow.
It's,
and you know, because you know as well as I do, you know a good friend of ours, should we say ours as well as mine, and that's John Wedger. And what you just turned around and said was exactly what John says, that these kids are attracted to these bright lights like these amusement arcades, and they're just like attraction. But now we've got to the stage in this 21st century where we've got all these kebab shops where the bright lights attract these kids. Not so much the fun fairs like we used to get, maybe at seasides, it's still an attraction, but it attracts the kids in, they drawn in like a magnet, and that's where they swoop and take them. Another thing that John mentions is the longboats and the canals where children are attracted to water, and they go on these longboats and they jump on these boats and they're never seen again because they go all over the country. I made a really, really good point, and I stand by my word to this very, very day and to the day I die. I saw whether it was anything to do with Jimmy Savile or whether it wasn't anything to do with Jimmy Savile, but it was money that came from him in the first place. I remember the Sunshine coaches coming into Beach Home, and I remember the children getting on them Sunshine coaches and never seeing them again. Now, people can make of it and say whatever they like. It's my word against the establishments, and it's the establishment's word against mine. But at the end of the day, what you have today is blatant hypocrisy from politicians, blatant lies, and just self-interest, and no interest whatsoever in the common person. Now, I just hate any politics myself. It's a strong word to use. I know that's a strong word to use. But what I've seen of politicians, I've been in Parliament, I've been in outside the Welsh Parliament, I've been in Scottish Parliament, and the way they're controlling, and the councils think they're local government, think they're an umbrella of central government, and the whole lot of it, the courts, the police, the judicial system, every single thing, solicitors. I've had a solicitor where I've given a statement to someone trying to tell me what to write. And I said, hang on a minute. Are you asking me for a statement, or are you writing my statement for me?
What we don't see is the bullying people are subjected to. And I know of 2 detective constables and a detective sergeant all involved in child protection, and they've all been attacked and their careers ruined, and the mental health system has been thrown at them to wear them down. So where are these instructions coming from? They're coming from the top. Right. And these people are put into place to keep these things quiet. In my own case with Thames Valley, one of the most obstructive chief constables was John Campbell. He left about 2 years ago. And when he was deputy chief constable and Frances Habgood was chief constable, an inspection by Her Majesty, we're going back about 5 years now, Her Majesty's Inspector of Constabulary went into Thames Valley and found 35,000 crimes weren't recorded in 1 year. They were rapes, they were sexual assaults, they were domestic violence, they were vulnerable adult and vulnerable children's cases. Chief Constable Habgood left, and he then became the part-time chair of the Buckinghamshire Safeguarding Board with a reputation like that. And John Campbell was elevated from Deputy Chief Constable to Chief Constable, and still the non-recording of these crimes were taking place, including children. Yeah. And at the time he left, there was a further inspection, and there was still child cases are not being recorded.
Wow, you're well clued up, you.
Sorry?
You're well clued up, you, because there's points you're making tonight that are very on point, and I love what I'm hearing from you, because the simple reason, everything you said about the arcades, the bright lights and everything like that, and I hear what you're saying. I know for a fact this is it, this as well. So, and I've seen some bits and pieces myself. I always say to people that where you've got a police station, you always have a courthouse, like a magistrate's court. 9 times out of 10, there's access to go straight from the police station, straight to the magistrate, so they can detain you and then put you before the magistrate, magi, the next day, and then you can be found or whatever the case might be by the magistrate. Now, where you had children's homes, you also had a lot of mental institutions. They used to section children through the Mental Health Act because they could do it. It was easy for them to be able to section children